Hi team, I have been wanting to make this video all week. On Sunday, our pastor gave a really good sermon that applied to many aspects of our lives, but all I kept thinking about was our Plexus journey while he was giving the sermon. So I wanted to share some of the notes that I took from Sunday to kind of encourage you and push you through your business. So the title of the message was Crossing the Line, and the line he was talking about was the Jordan River. It says, the other side of the river is a new chapter, the promise God has given you. How do you step into your promise? You cross the line. Cross means to pass over mediocrity, crossing from natural to supernatural. The children of Israel could have gone back into the wilderness and gave up. They could settle for the land on this side of the Jordan, but would have always wondered what could have been and would have been just out of reach of their promise. Or they could have actually crossed the line and received their inheritance. So 3 barriers that you might face to crossing your line into your promise. Real problems. You can't go through life acting like your problems aren't really there. You will have to pay a price to step into your promises. God has a reason for every problem in your life. Don't run in fear and miss the promise. God is trying to build you up. He said, promise miracles require you to do something to receive them. The Jordan River is God bringing you in, teaching you responsibility, and miracles don't happen without you. The second barrier, people. Bullies exist to label you in the ordinary. They tell you what you can't do. People say you can't because they didn't. They saw the promised land, but weren't able or strong enough to enter, so they say you aren't able. You might have people talking negative about your business, saying you can't do it, bashing your dreams, but you know what? They aren't God, and they aren't you, so they can't tell you what you can and can't do. They're terrified that you'll do what they couldn't do. There will always be more bullies than there are border busters. They're jealous of what you're doing. You don't need to be afraid because they outnumber you, because our God is able. Are you listening to the bullies or the border busters who are going to help you get to your promised land? The third barrier is yourself. If you don't know who you are, then don't expect someone else to figure it out for you. God allows the wilderness so you will discover who you are and whose you are. And when you know who you are and you have to cross that line, you see the giants, you face your fears, and you'll be able to do it because you're strong and you know that God is able and you belong to Him. You know your identity and know you're more than a conqueror. Let's see. Don't miss out on your promise because you're measuring yourself to a person. You cannot afford to miss out on your promise just because someone else missed out on theirs. On Sunday, these notes just fired me up. Obviously about, life in general, but it really relates to our Plexus business and all of the fears that we have to face, the growth that we have to choose to take, the bullies that we have to face. It's very encouraging. He did not bring us this far just to see a line and settle for what's on this side. The enemy in your promised land is more afraid of you than you are of it. Don't allow you to defeat you. Satan is afraid of you because the same God who raised Jesus from the dead is alive in you. Job had the devil talking about him. If the devil is talking about you, then God is doing something in you. So I hope you got something out of that. Like I said, this was from our pastor on Sunday, and it was about crossing the lines, facing your fears, not giving up on God's promises for you. Don't sell yourself short. Don't sell God short, because if you have a dream, then together with you, God, and your border busters, you can get there. And this is as much for myself as it is for you guys, but I hope that it encouraged you. And go Plexus.